Buonissimo.
You don't need too much. You gently press it in, and there we go. We have
Beautiful.
a Roma seal.
We're in the beautiful city centre of Rome, and today we're going to visit the Pantheon Neighborhood. I'm going to take you to see some of the best places around. We'll start by going to Santa Maria sopra Minerva, then we'll visit the fascinating Pantheon, stop to have some shopping time and some lunch, and stick with me to the end because I'm going to take you to see one of the most breathtaking churches in all of Rome. Let's go! The Pantheon Neighborhood is an area that gives this wonderful inner city feel. In this part of Rome, you can see Rome's famous cobble streets, the beautiful piazzas, and even a large number of churches. So all of these things contribute to this open-air museum feeling that a lot of tourists and locals describe about Rome. Apart from the things I just mentioned, you can find loads of restaurants, shops, rooftop bars, and even a lot of hotels. They might be on the pricier side, but honestly, it's worth it because this area of Rome is connected to the rest of the centre. We're in the middle of Piazza Navona, Piazza di Spagna, Piazza Venezia, so everything is reachable by foot, and it's even better because you can just enjoy all of the views around you. So we are starting our walk here at Piazza della Minerva, which is just a few steps away from the Pantheon. Behind us, Santa Maria sopra Minerva. So this is the only remaining Gothic church in Rome. Many other churches, as we have seen, have Baroque renovations, but this one remained faithful to the Gothic style. The church was built over a Roman temple that was dedicated to Minerva, the goddess of wisdom and war. The temple was probably destroyed by Christianization in the 7th century. You can also find the tomb of Saint Catherine of Siena and the great painter Beato Angelico that are buried in this church. The monument that you can see behind me is made out of two parts. The first part is the obelisk that was found in the garden underneath the church we can see today. The second part is that the elephant was made by Bernini, the man who gave Rome its Baroque look. So there are two legends about this elephant. The first one is that Bernini was not really happy with this project, so he made a pig instead of an elephant. But clearly, as we can see right now, it is an elephant. The second legend is that it was made to mock a Dominican friar who commissioned the project. So Father Domenico Paglia was very much obsessed with elephants. He really loved them. So what did Bernini do? He built this elephant with its rear end facing the Dominican monastery next door to mock him. Now that we've warmed up, it's time to see the real gem of this neighborhood, the one and only Pantheon. The Pantheon stands in the middle of Piazza della Rotonda, where we are now. So this is a very lively square in this neighborhood. As you can see, there are many people, restaurants, bars, you can find everything here. And I recommend you coming during the week in the mornings because Saturday and Sunday it gets really busy. So if you come here around 9 in the morning, you're going to find the square nearly empty and you can fully enjoy the romantic vibes. So we are now standing inside of the Pantheon. It's one of the most ancient Roman buildings in Rome. So it was intended to be a temple for all the gods, but it was later converted into a Christian church.
The dome of the Pantheon is one of the largest unreinforced concrete domes in the world. It's built out of 5 rings of coffers, which decrease in size as they rise up towards the top.
This above me is the Pantheon's oculus, and it's the only real source of light that comes into the building. But a fun fact, when it rains, it actually also rains inside. However, on the floor, there are holes that pick up the water and drain it. There are 2 very special days in which you can visit the Pantheon. One of the first is the Feast of the Pentecoste, which is normally 50 days after Easter, and they celebrate the descent of the Holy Spirit on the earth by throwing thousands of rose petals from the oculus in the roof of the Pantheon, which just creates an absolutely beautiful magic ambience. And another date is the 21st of April, exactly at midday, 12 o'clock. You can see a beautiful ray of sunshine that enlightens the frontal door of the Pantheon. This light effect was actually also used during ancient Roman times in 27 AD, when Emperor Augustus entered the Pantheon. He was fully enriched by this beautiful light, which was done to celebrate the greatness of the ancient gods. I've only told you a small part of the Pantheon story. So if you want to find out more, click the link in our description where you can find our guided tour of the Pantheon to find out a lot of interesting facts, historical facts, you name it. And most importantly, you get to skip the line. And trust me, you don't want to be waiting in long lines when you have a holiday and you just want to visit the Hall of Rome. And now, I'm going to take you to one of the best cafes in Rome, just close to the Pantheon, La Tazza d'Oro. Follow me. Let's get some coffee. So I got an espresso, which in Italy is just un caffè. Grazie. I'm going to take you to so many places, so I need to get my energy up. And I always think it's better to have il caffè at the banco because, you know, when you get a takeaway coffee, the flavor is never really the same as getting it just freshly made. Italians are never fans of takeaways. So, you know, you get everything fresh right in the moment. That's the experience. The coffee in here is always amazing. But if you're here in summer, I recommend you getting la granita al caffè, which is like an Italian version of the iced coffee. Obviously, if you're in the Pantheon neighborhood, you know, you have to do some shopping. And instead of going to the regular souvenir shops, I have a hidden gem for you. It's really special. And you know what? It's right here. This is a shop very close to the Pantheon where you can find a very special souvenir. Not the ones you can, you know, find in every shop. These are way more artistic and have their own specific Roman tastes, like these candles with the different pasta flavors, or these cups with the hand gestures. You can also find these very cute postcards with, you know, La Dolce Vita, famous movies or famous places in Rome, and the magnets as well with the Roman sayings. All these posters which are very artistic and personalized. Rome is full of beauty. It's a city that's literally made for walking. So whenever you're here, I recommend you bring some walking shoes.
If you're a leather lover like me, you're going to love this. I'm going to show you a shop with genuine high-end Italian leather. Florence Moon.
Noi abbiamo improntato questo negozio sulla qualità del prodotto, tanto è vero è un prodotto di manifattura toscana, cucito a mano, proprio per dare una qualità al turista. Principalmente lavoriamo con turisti americani, giapponesi e spagnoli anche.
Ti capita anche di avere la clientela più proprio italiana, romana?
Sì, abbiamo clienti selezionati che sanno della qualità del nostro prodotto, quindi vengono a colpo sicuro, come si dice, no?
After all today's sightseeing, I'm getting quite hungry. And you know what? I'm in the mood for a proper Roman dish. A lot of locals recommend this place. It's called Maccheroni. It's right here, and I'm going to take you there now. Maccheroni has been featured in the New York Times and described as simple, honest cooking. So the real trattoria experience. So what is a trattoria? Let's just say it's an easier and more simple way of dining instead of the fancy and elegant way a restaurant would normally have. So Maccheroni is found in the center of Rome, just a few steps away from both the Pantheon and Piazza Navona, and is a very typical traditional Roman cuisine. As a starter, I've taken carciofo alla romana, which is a typical Roman dish. This vegetable, the carciofo, is basically found in any Italian restaurant and a lot of Roman dishes. There's two types of artichokes. There is the artichoke alla romana, which is just boiled, and there's artichoke alla giudia, which is deep fried. But in this restaurant, they actually don't sell anything fried, so you'll just find the alla romana. So the restaurant has a rich history dating back to the 1900s, when a lot of writers and authors came here. Then in the 1930s, it was bought by the current owner's grandfather and turned into a trattoria. For the main course, I've taken carbonara, which is a traditional Roman dish. And there's always been a lot of debate about this particular dish because everyone makes it a different way. No one knows what the correct one is, but the ingredients are egg yolks, guanciale, which is the pig cheek, pecorino, and pepper. And when I was a child, I tried it for the first time to make it at home. A very big omelette came out because it's really important to get the eggs just right. Buonissimo. For my second course, I've taken saltimbocca alla romana, which is another very traditional Roman dish, which is made out of veal, a cured ham, a buttery sauce that is made out of wine, and a leaf of sage. Stupendo, and you can find this dish in every single Roman restaurant.
Before we head to our last stop, I'm going to take you in one of my favorite shops of this neighborhood. It's called Manufactus.
This particular location is the original store, opened in 1910, and it used to be a school supply store.
Okay.
Obviously, with time, we parted our ways, but we maintained the same affinity to books and to leather and to paper, most of all. Our specialty is leather, handmade. That is the main word in our store. Everything
very traditional.
is very traditional and handmade. Over here, you have the wax seals. I'm gonna show you an example of the two. So here we have the seal, we have the flame, and obviously the wax. To start, you do this. You melt the wax on the paper. You don't need too much. Put out the fire. And then if you want to cool it faster, you do this motion like so. It's not necessary, but it helps. Now, unlike Hollywood movies, you don't have to slam the seal onto the wax because it's almost liquid. You gently press it in and wait for a few seconds. And there we go. We have a Roma seal.
And now it's time to see one of the most breathtaking churches in Rome. You might have seen this one come across Instagram or TikTok. It's La Chiesa di sant'Ignazio di Loyola. Let's take a look inside.
It is a Baroque-style church built between 1626 and 1650. Here's a fun fact. The church's ceiling features a stunning trompe-l'œil fresco painted by Andrea Pozzo in the 17th century. The building was designed to have a dome over the crossing, but money ran out, so Andrea Pozzo came up with a painting that creates the illusion of a dome. As for the mirror, it is located on the floor of the nave, directly under the fresco. The mirror was installed in 1700 by Andrea Pozzo as a part of his design to create the illusion. But honestly, at first I thought it's a recent adjustment to reduce the neck pain of visitors. This optical illusion is a remarkable example of Baroque art and architecture.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and let me know in the comments which neighborhoods you'd like to see next. See you in the next one.